Hello again. What is Erik ten Hag's main goal at Manchester United? Why about 15 months ago was he chosen for this job? Well, the simple answer would be to bring the club back to the top once again. But that is not actually the full answer. The proper answer is to bring them back at the top and keep them there. Erik ten Hag's job is to make Manchester United a team that challenges for the Premier League title and then challenges for the Premier League title the year after and the year after and the year after. His job is not to make sure that the team qualifies for the Champions League. His job is to build a team that qualifying for the Champions League is considered normality. That has to be the goal of every manager and every player at Manchester United. And that is why I personally will always disagree with the logic of, well, let's get one trophy because it's been so many years. Because that is not what a club like United is about. It is not about winning one trophy. It's about having a team that is challenging year after year after year for everything. And of course, like with any rebuild, this is going to take time. So although yes, finishing in the top 4 is very important because it allows you to financially be more comfortable, and winning a trophy is always very nice, Erik ten Hag's goal for the first few seasons is not just those things. It's not just top 4 and hopefully a trophy. His main goal is to implement his philosophy, his system, his way of doing things, and to build a team around his way of playing football. And through that, putting the team in a better position year after year until it becomes the team that, like we said before, is capable of challenging for everything, not just once, but every single season. But even though we can all agree that this was a very positive summer, we all very well know that this squad has not got enough players yet capable of consistently playing the way that Erik ten Hag wants throughout an entire season. And also, there's always the possibility that throughout the season we lose some key players to injuries. So if United fail to win a trophy this season, that does not mean that the manager has failed, not at all. Like I very often say, patience is key. Patience is key for the club, the fans, the players, the manager himself. And unfortunately, I am certain that although now we can all agree on that, if in a few months things are not going the way we want, most of us will be saying something different. Most times people get carried away and they completely lose focus on what is actually more important for a club like Manchester United. Prime examples of that are Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. When Pep went to City, he inherited a team that had won the league just 3 seasons before. So naturally, most people thought that when a team that has recently been successful gets arguably the best manager in the world, they should be winning the title straight away. And when they soon in the season dropped off the title race and the media were creating story after story about Manchester City's failure under Pep Guardiola, he did not change what he wanted to do because he knew that his goal is not to challenge for the title in that season, but to build a team capable of challenging every single year. Pep knew that his main goal was not to win a trophy that season. He knew that his main goal was to establish his style of play because he knew that when he achieved that, he would have a team capable of challenging every year. And of course, people can rightly say that Guardiola had a sporting director of his choice that knew the players that fitted his style and that he had in his disposal endless amounts of money. But that did not alter what his plan was from day one. It just meant that he was able to achieve his goal faster. Very similar, but probably a bit slower, was what Jurgen Klopp did at Liverpool. When he took over, Liverpool were only 4 points behind the top 4 places. But that did not affect him or change what his plan was going to be. His plan for the first season was to lay the foundations of his playing style and his playing philosophy. And year after year, Liverpool finished higher and higher in the league, and over the course of 3 years, he built a team that was able to consistently get over 90 points every season. There is a reason those two managers are the only managers to have been at their clubs for over 5 years. They came in not focusing on quick fixes and a quick trophy, but focusing on building something strong enough to get to the top and stay there. Certain quotes that Erik ten Hag used in his first press conferences last summer sounded very familiar. A 3-year vision, establishing a new identity. It's going to take time. Those were the things that we had heard before from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer spoke about wanting to build a team capable of playing free-flowing attacking football, a team that wouldn't be afraid of taking risks. He had the idea of how he wanted United to play, and he had also set the youth teams up to play the same way. But unfortunately, the pressure from almost every direction outside the club and the complete lack of consistent, proper backing meant that he was going into almost every game as if his job was depending on it, and he was left with a squad not capable of doing the things he wanted them to do. A squad that could provide energy and defensive work, but lacked quality. So he abandoned his initial plan and focused on grinding out results with what he had at his disposal. As we now know, short term that plan worked, but long term it actually did more damage. So although everyone wants United to return to the top as soon as possible, it is very important to understand what exactly the phrase as soon as possible really means. It's not important if it happens a year sooner or later. What is important is that we do it in a way that results in having a team capable of reaching the top and staying at the top. If you try to cheat, if you ignore things that you shouldn't, if you take too many steps at once, then you are destined to fall exactly back to where you are when you started. The priority needs to be the project, not a random one-off trophy. And with all that in mind, I will say that this transfer window was, in my opinion, a positive step in that direction. After our first 3 signings, it did seem to get a bit messy, and we could have done with getting a few more players out, but we addressed all the priority positions, and that is what matters most. Hopefully, we have an exciting season to look forward to, and hopefully we will enjoy watching Manchester United play football, because that is what we are here for. Glory, glory, Man United.